Good evening. A regular Board of Trustees for Socorro Independent School Districts will be held Tuesday, April 18th, 2023, and the time is 6:01. We have established quorum, and today we have a special guest in the audience, a 8th grader from Captain Walter E. Clark Middle School. She will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance tonight. Her name is Savannah, has attended a total of 8 schools, and has lived in 5 states. Her family moved to El Paso last June. Her father, a master sergeant, so he could attend the U.S. Army Sergeant Major's Academy at Fort Bliss. Despite all the challenges associated with relocating from one place to another, Savannah has thrived at Clark Middle School. She is a straight-A student, National Junior Honor Society president, and Student Council parliamentarian. She competes in 3 UIL events, plays the viola in the orchestra, and participates in art, theater, and literary anthology. Congratulations, Savannah, for being an exceptional student. We are grateful to the Tucker family for your service to our country and to our community. We salute you, especially during this month, the month of the military child. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's give her a warm round of applause. Please take your seats. Thank you much, Savannah. We will now proceed with superintendent's comments.
Good evening, President Mena, members of the board, and to our Socorro ISD community. I have 2 personnel administrative introductions this evening. I'd like to welcome Erica Nicole Flores as the new assistant principal of Sunridge Middle School. Welcome. And I'd like to welcome Luis Martinez as the new assistant principal of Eastlake High School. Welcome to both of you. For comments, we have our 2023 SISD District Art Show now on display here at SISD District Service Center. You may have seen it as you came in. This show consists of artwork showcasing the talent of all grade levels across our district. The pieces on display will be judged to select the district winners. An open house and award ceremony open to the community will be celebrated on May 13th. In athletics, our boys soccer teams did great this season as always. Notably, the Eastlake boys soccer team advanced for the 3rd time in 3 years to the Sweet 16 in the soccer playoffs. Congratulations to them. In fine arts, the Americas High School Choir was invited to be the featured choir in the National Youth Choir and Instrumental Music Festival. They performed at Carnegie Hall in March and provided great representation of Team SISD at the national level. If you had the opportunity to attend, we had a great SISD Math Bee featuring dozens of students in kinder through 5th grade showing off their math skills. Way to go, Math Bee participants. And a few upcoming events. Administrative Professionals Day is next week on April 26th. I want to take this opportunity to thank and celebrate the work of all secretaries, administrative assistants, and all other professionals that are vital to our district. Thank you. We have our Partners in Education recognition taking place on Friday, April 28th at the Region 19 Starlight Event Center. Friday night, April 28th, we also have Night at the Chihuahuas. So if you want to come out and see your superintendent try to throw out the first pitch, that'll be April 28th down to Southwest University Stadium. And our last upcoming event, Teacher of the Year Gala, will be on May 5th at the Convention Center. This concludes my comments.
Thank you, Dr. Carmen. We will now move on to item number 4, Board Honors. Presenter Daniel Escobar.
Good evening, President Mena, members of the board, and Superintendent Dr. Carmen. My name is Daniel Escobar, Chief Communications Officer for the district. For our first presentation, if you will remain at your seats, the presentation will be led by Diane Flores, Autism Spectrum Disorder Specialist from our Special Education team.
Good evening, President Mena, Dr. Carmen, and members of the board. So we're very excited today. We're having a Chick-fil-A family night in autism awareness celebration. So today we're going to present to you, April is Autism Acceptance Month and Awareness. So we have a presentation brought to you today by one of our families. Santiago Lopez is a student at Vista del Sol. His teacher is Miss Lisbeth Ortega, and he's in the SLU, and his family is here today, and his sister is going to actually do the presentation for you. We also have, we put gifts out, a cake pop and pretzels for the munchies, you know, you're gonna need it. It looks like a long board meeting. So just so you know, the prevalence of autism just recently was updated by the CDC, and it's 1 in 36 now. 1 person in 36 is born with an autism spectrum disorder. And so you all have a team of 8 autism specialists. I'm one of them. And I would like to introduce to you the team. Team, please stand up. We have Clarissa Mijares, Candice Morales, Claudia Chavez, Mariana Castrejon, Delia Dominguez, Elvia Flores, and Kina Hines. Thank you. And we currently serve over 1,000 students with autism in our district. So thank you for all your support with that. With that, we have the Santiago Lopez Maldonado family.
Hello, how are you guys? Good? Okay, good. I'm going to be giving you guys a presentation now about autism acceptance. There you go. Do you guys know that all brains work differently? I mean, it's clear to see. It doesn't matter if you have autism or not. We're all different in some way, you know? And that's why we're all good at different things. We have different specialties that we can excel at in all aspects of our life, no matter what. And autistic people / autistic individuals, or like individuals with autism, experience the world around them differently. They see things differently than you and I. And we all feel and communicate differently. The way we express ourselves, the way we view things, the way we, feel things. And we also have different ways of sensing the world around us. And people used to talk about autism as an illness that, needed to be cured. It was something bad that you had in your life, which it's not. It's really not. And April is Autism Acceptance Month, and it is not enough to be aware. We need to learn to accept everyone around us, regardless if they have autism or not, because that's what makes our world great, I guess. Accepting people and, loving them and appreciating them for who they are. And it's not an illness that needs to be cured, and it's about embracing the uniqueness that each of us has. And autism prevalence has increased 317% since 2000. That's a lot. And it's great to be unique. Sees uniqueness. Thank you. Yeah, that's it. Bye-bye.
You did great. And we do have a gift for you all today. So we'll leave you with a nice gift. Ladies? They were dreading this moment to be in front of everybody. We teach social skills on a daily basis, yet sometimes we lack social skills ourselves. I don't know.
Thank you so very much, and thank you for all of your hard work. Thank you.
And if, may we have a picture with you all? Yes, thank you.
We got it.
Just remember to join us at Chick-fil-A on Rojas, okay? Rojas.
Yeah, you can go ahead and stay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Flores, Lopez family, and team for that great presentation. We'll go ahead and continue with our board recognitions. First, we will recognize the first place winners of the 6th annual district-wide Math Bee. These students showcased their math skills as they competed in the 4-part competition within their individual grade levels. They then proceeded to a timed elimination round. 180 students in kindergarten through 5th grade who had advanced from their campus Math Bee competed at the district level. Congratulations to these outstanding students. From Robert R. Rojas, Noah Padilla. His teacher is Jessica Garza. From Dr. Sue A. Shook Elementary, Caleb Neitner. His teacher is Iracema Lucio. From Mission Ridge Elementary, Fernando Gonzalez. His teachers are Darlene Beltran and Amelia Miranda. From John Drugan School, Jacob Carrillo. From Horizon Heights Elementary, Peyton Gutierrez. Teacher Lori Berumen. From Benito Martinez, Brooklyn Lujan. Her teacher is Daniel Perez. If we can have you all back up to the front for a photo. And just a quick note, while they're gathering for this photo, that all of the portraits taken by our district photographer, Mr. Largo, are posted on our district website. There's a camera icon on the bottom right-hand corner of the webpage. That'll take you to our SmugMug account. The photos will be available there for free high-resolution download. That said, you all are welcome to step up front as well and take pictures here this evening as well. So if you all look forward, right at Mr. Largo. Keep smiling, looking straight ahead. Congratulations once again. Next, we recognize 2 SISD students for having their artwork selected to be displayed during the 2023 Texas Art Education Association Youth Art Month at the Bullock Texas State History Museum in Austin. This exhibit showcases pre-K through 12th grade works of art from across the state. The 2 SISD students had their artwork featured in March in the exhibit of over 100 pieces of award-winning work. Congratulations to these talented artists. From Socorro Middle School, Ali Lopez. Her art teacher is Ivan Ortega. From Desert Wind, Rosalba Ramirez. And her art teacher is Karen Perez. If we can have you back up front for a photo, please. Congratulations once again. Our next recognition honors students who qualified for the 2023 State Visual Arts Scholastic Event Competition. 11 SISD students were among those who qualified for the statewide event hosted by the Texas Art Education Association. Qualifying students will travel at the end of April to Austin to attend the event and participate in numerous workshops. Congratulations to these exceptional student artists. From America's High School, Evelyn Lahabal. From Eastlake High School, Rosalind De La Cruz. Also from Eastlake High School, Jalen De La Paz. Their teacher is Natalie Gomez. Also from Eastlake High School, Jonah Alvarez. Jonah's teacher is Lucia Cimental. From Pebble Hills High School, Kayla McHaney. Her teacher is Julian Vidales. And from Socorro High School, Liliana Reza. And Lourdes Aguilar is her teacher. If we can have you all back to the front for a photo, please. Keep smiling, looking straight ahead. A few more pictures. Congratulations once again. Next, we recognize a high school choir who was selected as a featured choir to open the National Youth Choir and Instrumental Music Festival at New York City's Carnegie Hall in March. These students and their director got the chance of a lifetime to showcase their vocal talent in one of the country's most prestigious music venues. Their amazing performance earned a standing ovation and shined a national spotlight on SISD's incredible fine arts programs. Congratulations to the outstanding America's High School Varsity Treble Choir. Kiara An. Liani Avina. Stephanie Briones. Mia Carreto. Alani Green. Guadalupe Macias. Destiny Magallanes. Leila Morales. Sarai Nunez. Danielle Reyes. Lynette Sainz. Juliana Valles. Brianna Vidaña. Maya Villa. Rachel Whiteman. And their director is Rocio Manriquez. If we can have you all back to the front for a photo, please. You see everybody gave us? Keep smiling, keep smiling. Congratulations once again. Our next recognitions are for 3 outstanding varsity boys soccer teams. First, we recognize El Dorado High School varsity boys soccer team for winning its second straight 6A by-district championship. The team had a great season, finishing with an overall record of 17-8-2 and a district record of 12-4, which placed them second in 1-6A, the highest the program has ever finished a district season. Congratulations to the Aztecs. Alan Acosta. Zaid Diaz. Roberto Eng. Garrick Felix. Saúl Garcia. Gael Gardea. Christian Lucero. Marco Melendez. Anuar Ordaz. Alex Ortiz. Elijah Pascal, Aaron Perez, Adrian Pierce, Walter Puentes, Omar Rodriguez, Michael Salazar, Osvaldo Teruel. Team managers are Ariadne Perez, Sofia Venzer. Assistant coaches Raimundo Gándara, Marisela Ciañez, and they're led by head coach Osvaldo Saucedo. All right, congratulations once again. Next, we have the Pebble Hills High School varsity boys soccer team, which secured its third consecutive by-district championship this year. Their overall record was 16-2-8, and their district record was 12-6. Congratulations, Spartans. Alejandro Acosta, Andrew De Leon, Tristan Edwards, Brian Lira, Gael Parra, Adan Ramirez, Dario Ramirez, Carlos Rodriguez, Juan Soriano, Yair Terrazas, assistant coach Joel Molina, Carlos Lopez, and they're led by head coach Mario Garcia. Congratulations once again. Next, we recognize the Eastlake High School varsity boys soccer team. They had another phenomenal season in which they advanced 4 rounds in the state playoffs. This was the 3rd time in 3 years the team advanced to the Sweet 16. This year marks the team's 4th district championship in a row. And the team went 14-2 in District 16A and 24-5-1 overall. Congratulations to the Falcons. Gabriel Aguirre, JJ Aleman, Michael Ayala, Gael Barragan, Hugo Chavez, Diego Floriano, Santiago Hernandez, Edgar Hernandez, Eric Macias, Hector Marin, Chris Mendez, Alan Mendez, Gustavo Muela, Manuel Ortiz, Xavier Peinado, Derek Porras, Diego Roman, Eric De La Rosa, Brandon Salas, Jordan Widner, Adrian Yanez, the team manager, Tito Rodriguez, assistant coaches, Larry Durbin, Alexis Gutierrez, Noe Vallarde, and they're led by head coach Gilbert Gibby Widner. Good. Congratulations once again. Kids look sharp. So before we conclude our student recognitions and go on to our staff recognitions, wanted to take the opportunity to ask Savannah and your family if you wouldn't mind joining the board for a photo, the family. We greatly appreciate that. Again, thank you for your service. Appreciate it. Move this, move. Right there, perfect. Go ahead and hold that pose. We want to get one more. Awesome, we got it. Thank you again. And you could read more. You could read more about Savannah and all her accomplishments online, SISD.net. There's a banner story. If you click on that, it has more about her. Our first special presentation honors employees who over the last 2 years have celebrated a milestone accomplishment in our district. These valuable members of Team SISD have served for 25 and 30 years. The amazing educators who served for 25 years started working in SISD when the district had 22 schools and 23,600 students, less than half what we have now. The devoted individuals who served for 30 years joined the team when the district had 17 schools and some 17,600 students. For perspective, around the time these employees joined the district, the Mario Bros. Arcade game was first released. Stephen Hawking published A Brief History of Time. The Space Shuttle Endeavour was launched to do a repair on the Hubble Space Telescope, and Google was founded. But most importantly, during that time, these amazing SISD employees began their careers contributing to the growth and success of countless students. We truly appreciate their dedication to Team SISD. Celebrating 25 years of service in SISD, Marianne Carrillo Paez. Melissa Delfin. Carol Hardy. Claudia Helmling. Anna Marioni. Julie Reyes. And Christian Carrasco. And celebrating 30 years of service in SISD, Scott Birkenpass, Luz Boucher, Jody Miranda, Elsa Piñón, Antonio Regalado, Elizabeth Regalado, if we can have you all back to the front for a photo, please. Keep smiling, keep smiling. Thank you again for all you've done for our district. And at this time, I'll turn it over to Trustee Mrs. Cynthia Nakira for our last special presentation.
Thank you, Daniel. this is weird. Good evening, Socorro ISD board members, Dr. Carmen, school administrators, district staff, parents, and community members. My name is Cynthia Nahida, and I am honored to be here tonight in two capacities. First, I am a very, very proud Socorro ISD board member. And second, I am the Region 19 director for the Texas Association of School Boards. TASB recently concluded its every other year student video contest, designed to show local communities the opportunities and successes happening each and every day in Texas public schools. Dozens of videos were submitted from school districts across the state this year. From those entries, only 3 were chosen as winners in 3 categories: the small, medium, and large district. I am delighted to be here tonight to honor and celebrate Socorro ISD for submitting an excellent and spirited video receiving high judging scores across the board. I am proud to announce the first place winner in the large school district category of the TASB Student Video Contest is Socorro ISD. And now let's take a look at the winning video. Can y'all see it?
Socorro Independent School District has more than 48,000 students in 50 campuses. But we're not just a number. Here, we're cared for, we're loved, we belong. Team ISD is a true Texas public school district that gives us unforgettable memories, traditions, experiences, and the opportunities we need to have a bright, successful future. Want to be a health professional? Once a bulldog, always a bulldog. Want to design skyscrapers? There's an empire for that. Have you heard the early bird gets the worm? Well, that's why they fear the falcons. We don't just rise. This is Sparta. We earn our horns and trailblaze and overcome to be the first and the best. I know. It sounds extra, but it's just our flex. For over 60 years, Socorro ISD has set its sights on our future with vision, innovation, investing, building, and planning to prepare us for the real world. These are our opportunities, and we will seize them.
And as we all know, PR never does anything just kind of halfway. In addition to the TASB video contest, the SISD Public Relations team also won 34 awards from the Texas School Public Relations Association for outstanding communication, public relations, marketing work, including the 3 Best Categories awards and 19 gold awards for writing, advertising, logos, special events, videos, the annual report, and the newsletter. Joining the team tonight for tonight's recognition is Andrea Marino, a student from Mission Early College High School who starred in the winning video. And I am very, very proud to recognize the members of the award-winning public relations team. They are Andy Pettis, Andrew Campos, Acavius Largo, Cesar Ruiz, Tony Marquez, Laura Acosta, Celeste Reyes, Devin Carrasco, Christine Cuevas, Maya Kirtley, Christy Flores-Jones, and their fearless leader, Daniel Escobar. And now if we can have y'all back front for your photo with the board, please. On behalf of TASB, I'd like to formally present the team with a prize of $5,000 for the winning video. We applaud you for providing such an excellent testimony to the educational quality found in Socorro ISD. Congratulations.
And that concludes our recognitions for this evening. Thank you.
Okay, now we'll move on to item 6A, Board of Trustees Business. A, consider approval of proclamation for National School Nurse Day, May 10th, 2023. Presenter, Rebecca Madrid.
Good evening, President Mena, members of the board, Dr. Carmen. Health Services is here humbly requesting your approval for the proclamation of the National School Nurse, which will be May 10th, this 2023. And we do have a student from Mountwood High School who will be reading the proclamation. But before we do that, Ms. Yolanda Tarango is going to tell you a little bit about her.
Elena Vera is a junior at Mountwood High School, where she has been a proud member of the Emeralds dance team for the past 3 years and presently serves as a captain. She has a distinguished honor of representing Mountwood High School as a Texas Dance Education Association convention as the All-State Dancer this school year. Elena is ranked top 10% of her class and is pursuing an associate's degree from El Paso Community College through the Rams Early College program. In addition, she's a member of the R. Jerry Barber chapter of the Mountwood High School Honor Society, as well as the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society at El Paso Community College. Elena's dream is to obtain a Bachelor's of Sciences nursing degree and care for premature infants and their families in the neonatal intensive care unit, and for such, following the shadows of her mother, Delma Vera, school nurse at Sierra Vista. We now present Elena Vera with a proclamation for the National School Nurse Day.
Good evening. Proclamation National School Nurse Day, May 10th, 2023. Whereas students are the future, and by investing in them today, we are ensuring our world for tomorrow. And whereas Families deserve to feel confident that their children will be cared for when they are at school. And whereas all students have a right to have their physical and mental health needs safely met while in the school setting. And whereas students today face more complex and life-threatening health problems requiring care in school. And whereas school nurses have served a critical role in improving public health and in ensuring students' academic success for more than 120 years. And whereas school nurses address the home and community factors, example, social determinants that impact students' health. And whereas school nurses are school nurses are professional nurses that advance the well-being, academic success, and lifelong achievements of all students by serving on the front lines and providing a critical safety net for our nation's most fragile children. And whereas school nurses act as a liaison to the school community, families, and healthcare providers on behalf of children's health by promoting wellness and improving health outcomes for our nation's children. And whereas school nurses support the health and educational success of children and youth by providing access to care when children's cognitive development is at its peak. And whereas school nurses are members of school-based teams, example, School Health Services, 504, IEP, disaster, emergency planning, providing care coordination to address the school population. And whereas school nurses understand the link between health and learning and are in a position to make a positive difference for children every day. Therefore, be it resolved that the National Association of School Nurses celebrates and acknowledges the accomplishments of school nurses everywhere and their efforts to meet the needs of today's students by providing and advocating for quality student-centered care, and offers gratitude for the nation's school nurses who contribute to our local communities by supporting students to stay healthy in school, safe and ready to learn, and keeping parents and guardians at work, not just on this National School Nurse Day, but in every opportunity throughout the year. Now, therefore, do hereby proclaim Wednesday, May 10th, 2023 as School Nurse Day in Texas and commend its observance to all citizens. Thank you very much.
And now we ask for your approval for the school nurse proclamation.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Morales, a second by Ms. Nájera. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Item B, report the announcements of board members' continuing education credit hours. As required by the Texas Administrative Code, Chapter 611, Board President Eduardo Mena will announce the completed, deficient, and exceeding board training continuing education hours for each trustee. Eduardo Mena has completed his continuing education hours, credit hours required in topics 1 and 2, and has exceeded requirements in topic 3. Pablo Barrera has completed his continuing education courses, hours requirements in topics 1 and 2, and exceeded his requirements in topic 3. David Morales has completed his continuing education courses, hours, credit cord hours in requirements topics 1 and 2, and exceeded requirements in topic 3. Ricardo Castellano has completed his continuing education hours, credit hours in requirements in topics 1 and 2, and exceeded the requirements in topic 3. Paul Guerra has completed his continuing education credit hours requirements in topics 1 and 2, and has exceeded requirements in topic 3. Cynthia Nájera has completed her continuing education credit hours requirements in topics 1 and 2, and has exceeded requirements in topic 3. Michael Nájera has completed his continuing education credit hours requirements in topics 1 and 2, and exceeded requirements in topic 3. So we're all legal here. Thank you so much. Okay, now we'll move on to open forum. I'm not feeling very well, guys, so bear with me. Please, can you read it from here? Yeah.
The board encourages comments from members of the public. However, the primary purpose of this meeting is to conduct district business. Therefore, to ensure the efficient conduct of this meeting, all speakers must comply with the following rules. Address the board at all times. Only persons who have timely signed up to speak will be called to speak. Comments should pertain to district issues or business. In accordance with board policy, respect the rights of others, display civility and decorum, and refrain from using harmful and offensive content such as defamatory, obscene, or fighting words or gestures. Complaints will be referred to a grievance policy. Do not engage in conduct that disrupts or delays this meeting. Each speaker is legally responsible for the content and consequences of his or her own statements. In order to have enough time, complete all items on the agenda item. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes, and if a person speaks on multiple agenda items, not more than a total of 5 minutes, all speakers, including those signed up to speak on agenda items, will be called to speak during open forum. The presiding officer will take all necessary measures to ensure that order and decorum is preserved during the meeting. We expect all persons to promptly comply with the presiding officer's directives. By law, the board cannot discuss or act on any item which is not posted on the agenda. Thank you for your cooperation. Let's proceed with open forum. Elizabeth O'Hara.
Good evening. Thank you for having me here, Dr. Carmen, President Mena, trustees, administrators, teachers, and families. My name is Elizabeth O'Hara, and I'm before you today as the chair-elect of the El Paso Chamber Board. And I want to call to your attention something called the El Paso Climate Charter, or Prop K, as voters will start to see it on Monday. Now, why do you need to know about this? Well, because if passed, Prop K could have a devastating effect on how you build out future campuses, how you would retroactively repair the campuses you currently have, and it could affect the growth pattern in the area surrounding your schools. Prop K is a 6-page manifesto boiled down to an incredibly large paragraph. The El Paso Chamber commissioned a study on its effects, and I'll give you the big numbers first. Job loss of 175,000 jobs by 2030, that's just 7 years from now. A cost to homeowners of $39,000, and the hostile takeover of El Paso Electric. The city of El Paso also did a study, and its numbers are not much better. Now, the group that didn't bother to study the numbers is Sunrise El Paso, the proponents of Prop K. So they don't tell you a price tag on the idea of keeping El Paso's water from being sold to fossil fuel companies and those who aid fossil fuel companies, although they aren't really clear on who they mean. And since we can't guess, let's just go ahead and take it for face value. Cement companies that SISD employs to create concrete would be prohibited from accessing water. The district will be hard-pressed to find replacement materials. And if El Paso Electric can't get water for the 2 power plants that are currently outside of the city limits, you're looking at schools that can't operate. Prop K also claims to create climate impact statements on projects such as zoning decisions, new subdivision approvals, and new and expanded streets. Currently, getting permits for these kind of things takes a few weeks. However, under this new idea, you're looking at months because of added bureaucracy, and as you know, the longer you wait, the more expensive materials will cost. These impacts will hurt the families of the children that you serve. Lastly, SISD's expansion will be hurt when businesses that are looking to capitalize off of the Amazon distribution center will decide that El Paso is not its place when they can't get gas, water, and electric. They simply will go somewhere else. The Chamber believes that it is improper for a City of El Paso policy to bleed over into your area. After all, many of the families in this area can't vote in the upcoming election, but they will certainly be hurt if Prop K is passed. We don't know what will happen on Election Day, May 6, but we're hopeful that many of your employees have friends and family in El Paso who they can encourage to vote against Prop K. It's what's best for our community and for Socorro. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Angie Soto.
Good evening, President Mena, board members, and Dr. Carmen. First, SCA thanks you for always looking out for SISD employees. We greatly appreciate your concern and your care for them. This is evident by the fact that you have taken action to correct some of the charges on the healthcare insurance so as not to burden the employees. We greatly appreciate that. We also thank you for your consideration of the salary scale to better reflect employees' years of service for veteran employees, which shows these employees that they are valued. We urge you to approve the changes to compensate these employees fairly because it is the right thing to do. These board actions show the community that SISD is the place to be. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Next speaker, Mr. Jaime Diaz.
Buenas tardes, Board, Superintendente. Mi nombre es Jaime Díaz. Trabajo para el Departamento de Transportación por 27 años. Esta tarde vengo a darles gracias por hacer el review y el ajuste de los de 15 años para arriba. ¿Ok? Ya habíamos hablado de esto en el último board meeting que tuvimos. Y esperamos que voten a nuestro favor para mejorar el salario y que sirva una gran ayuda para todos nosotros. Va a ser una gran ayuda para los de 15 años para arriba porque a todos nos pegó la gasolina cara, los alimentos, no nomás a los de 15 para abajo. Y les doy muchas gracias que ayudaron a ellos, ¿me entienden? Pero también los de 15 para arriba. Y según esto son como 1,400 personas que están fuera de este budget. Y espero que todos ustedes tengan una sabia decisión acerca de este voto que nos van a dar para que todos estemos bien porque somos un equipo. Las últimas veces que he estado aquí yo pienso que como que somos enemigos, ¿me entienden? Hemos estado hablando esto, ya es el segundo año que hablamos esto y toda la gente estamos hablando, pues ¿qué está pasando? ¿Por qué nomás a la mitad y a la mitad no? ¿Me entienden? Y es lo que queremos saber. Ojalá y yo sé que por eso están en sus sillas ahorita, porque la gente los puso ahí, porque ustedes quieren estar ahí para ayudar a la gente, ¿me entienden? Y quiero que hagan una buena decisión y muchas gracias y espero que hagan lo mejor que puedan hacer. Gracias.
Thank you. That concludes open forum. On to district reports. Item number 8, Alpha District-wide Intruder Detection Autumn Report Findings. Presenter, Mr. James Nunn.
Good evening, Board. The top priority of the Socorro Independent School District and the state of Texas is keeping students and staff safe every day. The Texas School Safety Center recently conducted an intruder detection audit at one or more of our campuses. The audits test whether a campus is accessible to an unauthorized individual. This audit, conducted as part of Governor Abbott's school safety directives for all school systems following the tragedy in Uvalde, seeks to help districts identify how campuses can improve safety for students, such as ensuring exterior doors are locked. The audit provides us with an opportunity to create a safer learning environment for our students and staff. We are working closely with our district's School Safety and Security Committee to ensure that we are training all our staff and securing our doors for the protection of everyone at our campuses. The support from the state in conducting the intruder detection audits is just one of the many actions we are taking to ensure our schools are safe. We know that this work does not end, and we appreciate the board's support. We acknowledge that parents and community members are likely very interested in the details of the audit results. However, it is in the best interest of the students that we do not share this information to the broader public, as it could lead to compromising information about campus security. Specific details of the intruder detection audits will be discussed in the executive session and with the School Safety and Security Committee. The Socorro Independent School District is committed to providing a safe and secure learning environment for staff and students.
Okay, I
Thank
have
you,
a
Mr.
question
Nunn.
real quick.
Mr. Nunn.
Yes, sir.
I know you'll provide a detailed report in executive, but for the public's concern or their information, what can you provide them? A percentage of campuses that are safe or what we find?
I
we
have
need
that
improvement?
information, sir. I can tell you, all I'm at liberty to discuss is that we have been audited recently. We had 7 schools recently audited. I can't discuss or disclose the greater information. I guess after executive session, we have that conversation. If we want to discuss the percentages of schools that have been audited, we can have that conversation, sir.
Well, yeah, not the names, but like,
And I guess I would defer to our legal representation, sir.
yeah, he's busy.
Because I do have the number and I can give you a percentage. I have that on the top of my head right now. I can do that. But again, I defer to legal.
We're just asking for the percentage of campuses that we know are safe so we can show that we are in the right direction, that we are improving. Yes, that's all I'm asking for, so the public can be aware.
With that in mind, we've had 28 campuses audited. 22 had absolutely no findings. 6 had findings. So if you do the math on that, I think it comes out to 79%, sir.
Okay, so there's room for improvement.
Yes, sir,
Good.
absolutely.
That's good. We're
Yes, sir.
on the right track.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Any more questions?
Bob, you're good. Thank you. I want to ask the attorney something. As you may know, Mr. Barrera has taken over. I'm not feeling well right now. What is the procedure in the board president leaving?
Well, you still have a quorum if you left, so it's just a matter of you handling the gavel to the vice president, and he can preside over the meeting. But and the record will note that you left at
Okay.
at this time on the agenda.
All right. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry. I have to exit. I'm not feeling at all well. Okay, and I apologize for this. I tried to hang on. I even took some Advil, but it's not working. I'm going straight to the urgent care. God bless you guys. I'll have you in my prayers.
Mr. Brenna, get well. The time is 7:09. Just noted that Mr. Mena, the president, is leaving right now. There was no more questions for Mr. Nunn? On to 8B, facilities report. Ms. Fierro.
Good evening, board members. Dr. Carmen, my name is Liliana Fierro. I'm the Director of Facilities and Construction. I will be giving you an update on the 2017 bond projects. The first slide, it's a summary of all the projects are related to the bond. You have, we have listed as with the project name, the approved by the board construction contract value, and the status. Under the new construction, we have SAC 2, New Combo, Van Narbuth, and East Lake Middle School. The construction on those sites is still ongoing. For the maintenance and facilities building, we're going to request board approval tonight under one of the items under the new business tonight. So we can discuss that item later. The Cactus Trail Elementary School Support and Technology Building, bus canopy structure, auxiliary gyms, phase 1, 2, and 3 are already completed 100%. Final credit and final payment was approved by the board. Under the major improvements renovations, we have Socorro High School reconstruction. The construction is still ongoing. And for El Dorado High School, the contractor is working on the punch list and closeout documents. For Monwood High School, America's High School improvements, America's High School sport lighting, Pebble Hills, El Dorado, and East Lake High School sports lighting, those projects are completed. Again, the final credit and final payment was approved by the board. Starting with the ongoing projects, we have Socorro High School reconstruction. The SISD coordinator, Susana Godina, is working with BLK Architects and the contractor BTC. As part of the scope of work, package 1 includes band practice lot, softball, baseball, and tennis courts. As you can see in the table, it's a little bit dark. It's actually in green. I don't know why it looks like that. But basically, the dark areas are already completed. Package 2 is divided in 3 phases. Phase 1 and phase 2, it's already occupied. And those phases include the academic tower, the student services, special education, CTE, kitchen, cafeteria, black box theater, renovated fine arts, new athletic locker rooms, auxiliary gym, wrestling gym, renovation of locker rooms, new competition gym and outdoors athletics, administration, Socorro Early College, Health Professional Academy, and fine arts additions. In the blue highlighted area, we have phase 3. That phase is ongoing. As I mentioned on the last board meeting, we were doing the demolition of the classic building. That's already done. And now the sports medicine building has been turned over to the campus. Now in that area, the contractor's working on the practice fields for soccer and football, and the chapels and discus. Here's a picture of the site view. As I mentioned, that's the area where the classic building was demolished, and now we're gonna have the practice fields. Here, you can see the classic demolition before photo, and then you have the site for the practice fields. And the last picture showing the sports medicine building. Now, the next item on this project is the research that facilities and construction perform on the concern regarding the swaying and possible structural movement in the building. So after the board meeting, the last board meeting on March 22nd, project coordinator Susana Godina and I met with the representatives from the architects, BLK and 9 Degrees, and with the structural engineer, HKN Architects, with BTC and Terracon. Terracon is the company doing the construction and materials testing, and it has a direct contract with the district. Under Terracon, we have El Paso CWI and NDE inspection company doing as well inspections during the construction of Socorro High School, and also we have the same company working at the SAC too. The site observations occurred throughout the 3rd floor, and with basically also in the main circulation areas and some of the classrooms. The observations occurred before, during, and after a class period change, and slight vibrations were observed, but it's consistent with the modern structural steel and the composite slab designs. There were not irregularities in the structural system. None of the observations made by the structural engineer were cause for concern. Based on our site observations, the structural system is behaving normally and safely. Now, Socorro High School was designed and constructed by registered architects, professional engineers that follow the building codes adopted by the City of Socorro, County of El Paso, and the State of Texas. During the construction of the steel structure, a third-party inspector from the City of El Paso and Terracon inspected the structural steel. As of today, we haven't found or we don't have any outstanding report showing non-compliance or non-conformance with the systems. Doing that, those inspections included the inspections on the steel member sizing, the connection points, and of course, the conformance with the construction contract documents. During the same week, we met with 2 teachers that had this valid concern, and one of them did mention that she is sensitive, more sensitive to sounds and movement, and the other teacher, she mentioned about she felt the swaying. So in order to experience this type of movement, you have to see structural cracks on the walls, ceilings, or flooring. We didn't observe anything of that. She pointed out one of an apparent structural crack. Let me show you. That one, it's once we get there, we could see that it's the caulking on the framing of the window, and basically the caulking is straight up and cracked. So that item was the only thing that we observed. Do you have any questions for Socorro High School?
Question. Ms. Fierro, so just to confirm what you're saying, that what we're looking at in the picture is actually not a crack in the structure, it's not a crack in the concrete or in the joint there of hardened materials like concrete, but instead it is the caulking itself, which is used to seal between the window frame and the wall, right? And the way to fix that would be to just remove that caulking and place new caulking?
Yes, sir, absolutely. You're correct.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Any more questions?
Okay, moving on to Student Activities Complex 2. Susana Godina, working with HKS Architects and Baines General Contractors, has mentioned before, the highlighted blue and the dark area are already completed and used by the district. The pink highlighted area is the construction zone. We have a percentage construction complete of 45%. And here's some of the pictures of the south parking lot, discus and shot put area, the side view of the bleachers, home and visitor sites, and the both side view. Do you have any questions on this project? Okay, moving on to here are some other pictures: side main entrance view, the locker rooms, fine arts building, and the home side press box. New Campus School. This project is managed by Hector Sanchez with Mijares Moras and Bain General Contractors. This school includes the elementary school, Coronel Bell Narvath, and East Lake Middle School. As you know, elementary school site is already occupied and used by the students and teachers, and the middle school site will be open for the next fiscal year. The alternate one, as part of the elementary site, it will be finished by July 28th. So right now, the percentage construction completion is 90%, 98%. Here's a site picture, East Lake Middle School on your left, and the Coronel Ben Narvath on your right side. It's an amazing campus. I have heard a lot of good things from the community. They love it. Here's the East Lake Middle School main entrance and the gym at East Lake Middle School. Corridors and one of the science labs. Do you have any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
On to consent agenda item number 9. Is there anything that needs to be pulled?
I have one. 9F1.
9F1.
Yes.
Is there anything else?
Motion to approve consent agenda with the exception of item 9F1.
Second. I got a motion by Ms. Cynthia Nájera and a second by Mr. Nájera. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Castellano to 9F1. Region 19, 217403, Furnishing Solutions and Related. Who will be speaking? Ms. Perez, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Myself and Ms. Gabby. I'm more than welcome. You're more than welcome to ask any questions if you have any specific concerns or questions about this item.
Yes, can you explain what this covers again?
Yes. So this is going to be the purchase of furniture for El Dorado High School for the cafeterias.
For the what?
El Dorado cafeteria. So we're refurnishing that cafeteria with some more modern furniture, some cafe style looking tables.
Yes, El Dorado just recently went through renovations with some bond projects. Why wasn't this included in that?
Ms. Janowski.
Or was it included and we didn't do it?
Ms. Janowski, would you like to?
May I?
Yes, ma'am, please.
All right. So when the bond project came through, sir, that was strictly to build onto the cafeteria because we needed more dining space because the dining room was not sufficient for the large population there at the campus. So we're bringing this because what we want to do is revamp the dining space similar to what we have at Socorro, Americas, and Montwood High School. We have new cafe-style cafeteria tables, booths, charging stations, graphics. The design is based on the campus history and culture, and Ms. Benencourt has been involved in the complete design and the work of this project. So it's going to be a great, great, great addition and really serve our students well.
And I see that it's coming out of the general fund, and my concern was that we had just renovated the cafeteria, but what, did we just left out the dining area or what?
And I'll defer that to the team, the administration, because sir, I wasn't involved in that part. So I can't answer that, but we can certainly look into that and get you an answer.
Or could this project be considered for the next bond? We have putting a facilities committee together to look at all this stuff. And that's why I'm questioning that. This came up, and I was really surprised. I thought they would have already included it because of all the renovations done at El Dorado.
So the renovations were done to the structure of it. The furniture itself would either have to be purchased out of bond proceeds or if that was part of the plan maybe, but it was not part of the original plan, so we did rotate on which campuses would be renovated. And it was, last year I believe it was Socorro High School, this year it was El Dorado High School.
Yeah.
So was Socorro High School done under the bond, or was it done general funds?
Was it on the bond? Ms. Janowski is saying that it was done under the bond.
Was America's also done under the bond?
I do not personally recall. Ms. Janowski said yes.
Yes.
So then I guess it goes to the same question that Mr. Castellanos is asking. I mean, if the other schools were done while they were under construction, they were being renovated, how come those were taken and the furniture was done for those schools, but why wasn't El Dorado taken into consideration?
And I beg your pardon, sir, because I don't know that answer. I have to tell you that, you know, we want to be fair to every single high school to ensure that lower valley, upper valley, everybody is treated the same and they get the same amazing buildings, furniture, everything. And this furniture for El Dorado was not part of the original bond for the renovations of the kitchen.
And I understand the intent that, I mean, it's just, it makes sense. Why was it for the other schools done, but why didn't administration at the time take that into consideration? I think that's your question, right, Mr.
Yes,
President?
and like you just mentioned, to be fair, but then It only went as far as Americas. We didn't go all the way up to El Dorado. And the bond was there. It's the same bond. Why was El Dorado left out?
I don't think we can sit here and second guess why it wasn't included, but we do have the bond documentation and it is available online, and we can clearly see that it's not part of the bond. So the decision to be made is, do we furnish the cafeteria now that it has been remodeled, or do we not? We cannot go back and say that we're going to furnish it using bond proceeds because it is clearly documented that it's not included in the bond. So the decision is, are we going to furnish it or not? But we can't add it to the bond.
I don't think anybody's wanting to add it to the bond. I think it's just more clarification.
It's clarification there, Michael. You know, why wasn't it included? You know, we have all these committees that put this stuff together, and I was surprised. I thought El Dorado was going to be completely done with the cafeteria and the other additions that were done to El Dorado High School. And then this came up, and it's a substantial amount, I understand, but, and I'm sure the school does need it.
Motion to approve.
Yeah.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. On to new business. 10A, consider authorization to publish RFQ for professional services. Ms. Fierro.
Good evening, board members. Dr. Carmen, Liliana Ferro, Director of Facilities and Construction. So this item, it's per board policy CVB local authorization to solicit RFQ for professional services. This is basically for design professional services for future construction projects.
Anybody have any questions?
Yes, can you explain the purpose?
Yes, so basically sometimes where we ask for construction projects, some of those projects need design services because we need approved drawings by the city, we need sealed drawings. That's why we need to have the RFQ to select an architect, an engineer, or any of those type of services.
Okay, so it's just to get the companies lined up in case we need them for future.
Yes. So here's
Okay.
the list of the services that we are gonna require.
No question.
Is there any more questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I got a motion by Mr. Morales, a second by Ms. Nájera. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. 10B, consider approval of new SISD facilities and maintenance building bond project modifications. Ms. Fierro.
Hello again. So this is the item that our department is requesting approval from the board trustees to accept the facilities and maintenance bond project modifications. This project was approved back on 2021, the design phase, but we are requesting board approval for the modifications that we had to do to the design.
Motion to approve. Second.
Any
Question?
questions?
What modifications are being done?
So right now, we're gonna have facilities and maintenance building, 12,000 square feet, and only is gonna house maintenance and facility staff members.
It's being modified from what?
Previously, it was a 30,000 square feet building, and it was for only maintenance staff, and it will have the print shop and the warehouse space. But now we're not gonna have the warehouse or the print shop area because the existing building, those areas are gonna work more efficiently on that side,
Oh, I'm sorry.
on the existing site. So the print shop and the warehouse will stay on the existing site, and we're gonna construct the, let's say, the building only for maintenance and staff and facilities staff members.
So the rest of the warehouse, we're gonna get rid of, that's what basically you're saying?
We're gonna take it out from the design phase for this project, but the warehouse will stay on the existing location.
Okay.
Any more questions?
No further
Question.
questions.
Ms. Fierro, okay.
I got no.
Oh. So just to understand, originally the design or the intent was to move either the entirety or majority of the maintenance staff, functions, et cetera, to a new 30,000 square foot building. And now, after further study, we've determined that the warehouse and the print shop are going to remain in the existing facility. So since they're going to remain in the existing facility, we don't need a large building anymore to accommodate those, and we're reducing the size of the building from the original 30,000 square feet to 12,000 square feet. Again, and that is because the warehouse and the print shop will remain in their existing location.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But this is the warehouse we're talking about on Tanton, or?
Yes, sir.
Oh, so why don't we just build this, and that building's leaking, we can have a place to store the records that we've been arguing for. Why don't we just use that addition? The bond already was approved for it, right?
Yes, good evening, President or Vice President Barrera, Dr. Carmen, and members of the board. Mr. Graciano, the building really was going to be to only house a certain amount. What we're taking out was going to be a large area for storage, and we're also going to relocate the print shop that we use for the district, all district printing needs. Once the technology building was done, we saw that we'd made some upgrades to our print shop down on Tanton. And if you've been at Tanton, really that warehouse area and space will be there because it supplies everything for the district for in all areas. What this was going to be just a storage facility. So we removed that, took print shop out, and now it's just going to house facilities construction and maintenance staff.
I didn't know we were talking about storage, but like for the records, and
that we're taking care of that as well, yes, sir.
and-
At Tanton.
On Tanton,
Yes, sir.
with the roof and all that, the
Yes, sir.
leak and it.
Yes, sir. It'll be taken care of very, very soon.
Okay.
Will it be secured?
Yes, sir, it will.
So we were able to modify this, but obviously one of the other items we weren't able to even change, right?
Ask the question again, I'm
About
sorry, sir.
regarding the bond.
Yes, sir. Oh, the only change that
So this is a modification to the bond.
This is a modification of an existing item that is listed on the bond.
Correct. So
We're not
able-
adding anything, we are modifying something that is already included on the bond.
You can take away, is what you're saying. Modify it, because that's what we're doing. We're taking away square footage.
No, we're not taking away. Administration is telling us that the needs have changed, and they're going to, what we were doing with the previous item was purchasing furniture that was completely not included in the bond whatsoever.
But they could have done a change order for that, right? Back
Yeah,
when the
but then we
bond-
would be, well, that item's done. For this
Yeah.
item right here, what they're saying is that they no longer want to move two of the departments, or the need to move those departments no longer exists.
That's
What's the
correct.
difference in the bond amount after cutting it down? 12,000.
For construction, so previously we had an estimated construction cost of 8 million. So now we have a construction cost estimate of 6.6 million.
And the other 1.4 million goes to what?
That will be used for furniture, IT, equipment, all other items. Whatever
was-
is left, we can use that on other bond projects or what the decision, it will be made by you.
Yeah, like Mr. Barrera said, I can see we're making the change here, but the other stuff wasn't made.
We can choose not to accept it and make them build a 30,000 square foot facility.
We can get rid of that warehouse on Tanton that's falling apart, no?
Not that simple. The
Yeah,
facility on Tanton is ours, we would have to sell it. And don't forget, what we're doing on Tanton is we are going through a cleanup of those records, so pretty
Yes.
soon,
And we
those
can move
records
and
are not
secure
gonna
it.
exist anymore.
Yeah,
Because
well,
they're
you still
gonna
have
be-
records you have to secure indefinitely, or
Mr. President, and we're making a certain area in that, and where we're at down on Tanton, we're making a whole area that's going to be specifically for storage of records. But to kind of go a little further with your question, on Tanton, that facility is just, it's humongous. It's very large. It houses all of our maintenance staff. It houses all of our warehouse paper towels, pretty much a lot of the numerous items that we use for plumbing, electrical, just numerous amount of things. We receive large amounts of technology equipment, and then from there we distribute it. It's almost like a mini Lowe's or Home Depot, where it's for the district and it just distributes everything continually. And we house a lot of different items there, and it's just a process where this one would have been something that's very, very small. It was only going to house a certain amount of staff, and then the one part that Ms. Fierro is removing is just, or that's going to be removed, is a large storage area we're going to have for storage of additional furniture and items that we're just going to be placed for storage.
and how big of that area that we're removing from this bond project?
Before you're talking about square footage?
Yes,
18,000 square foot.
18,000 square feet.
Yes, sir.
Which would
Any
include
more
the print
questions?
shop as well.
Yeah, well, the motion's been made, so.
Mr. Carrasco, if I recall correctly, the other reason we were going to construct a maintenance facility was so that it could also provide the opportunity for the staff to be more centrally located.
Yes.
So that, just like we're centrally located within the district, these areas as well, or these staff members will be. Now, in that reduction from 30,000 to 12,000, the 18,000 square foot, we're still going to house the same number of staff, right? So as far as housing the staff that will be at the facility, that specific area is not changing. What I'm hearing is that the space that is not to be included is warehouse space, and we'll have that available at the existing warehouse.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Any more questions?
No questions.
Motion was made by Mr. Morales, second was by Mr. Guerra. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
10C, consider approval and contract with E3 Integral Solutions. Ms. Garcia.
Good evening, Vice President Barrera, board members, Superintendent Carmen. My name is Gabby Garcia, Purchasing Director. On March 21st, 2023 board meeting, the board approved the expenditures to E3 for the LED retrofitting and replacement of the fixtures. Our board policy CV local states that construction contracts valued at or above $100,000, the superintendent shall also submit the resulting contract to the board for approval. And at this time, we are recommending consideration and approval of the contract as presented.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Is there any questions? I got a motion by Ms. Nájera and a second by Mr. Morales. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. 10D, consider approval of contract with Virgie. Ms. Garcia.
Okay, and this is similar to the previous item. So on March 21st, 23, the board approved the expenditures to Verigy through one GPA contract. And as stated in our policy, we have to present this back to the board for approval.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Got a motion by Ms. Nájera and a second by Mr. Morales. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
All those opposed? And we got one abstention from Mr. Guerra. Motion carries. 10F, discussion and possible action regarding, 10E, consider approval request for qualifications for bond counsel number E2363. Ms. Perez.
Good evening, Vice President Barrera, members of the board, Dr. Carmen. My name is Vicky Perez, Chief Financial Officer. Last month, we presented this item. I believe there was still some questions about it. We have included that in your board packet, and I would be more than happy to entertain any questions. At this time, the recommendation is to approve McCall, Parkhurst, and Horton LLP Does anybody have anything specific that they'd like to ask?
Any questions?
Questions?
Mr. Nájera?
Better, so, just as a reminder, what we do when we issue these RFQs and select these two firms, they are ranked, right? And so, and I don't remember, which one was first?
Yes, they are ranked. McCall, Parkhurst, and Horton was the one that was ranked the highest.
Okay, so McCall Parker, what we'll do is we will initiate communications or negotiations with them. We will try and negotiate the fee associated with those services. If at some point we don't come to an agreement with them, then we will terminate negotiations with them and then initiate with the second ranked firm. Is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any more questions?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Ms. Nájera and a second by Mr. Morales. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. 10F, discussion and possible action regarding forensic audit phase 2 scope. Ms. Perez.
Yes, sir. This evening we have Mr. Jordan and Mr. Kasner with Weaver to discuss the proposed Phase 2 work plan and the fee estimate for the forensic audit.
Yep. Good evening, members of the board, Dr. Carmen. So we're here to really just answer any questions or provide any clarity on the Phase 2 proposed work plan and fee estimate. In March, we talked about reviewing or adding 2 scope of work items: the board governance, campus funds, and going through the questionnaire process. So since then, we've done that, incorporated those into the scopes of work. So there's now 16 that have been ranked, all using the same methodology. And so then we have prepared a fee estimate based on the hours, assuming a 5-year review period where the top 10 scopes of work, which are the ones that are the high and moderate, we have essentially estimated to do a detailed review for the 5-year period. And then we've also, I know there was some mention about, if we were to review all of the scopes of work, what would that look like? So kind of as a optional or additional, amount, we've included a sampling if we included the last 6 scopes of work. And so that's how that's broken out. And so, really we're here to, if there's any questions or clarifications that we can provide any more detail on, we're happy to do so.
What was the amount that you came up with, the estimate?
So for the 10 scopes of work for Phase 2, the total, including the report, is $467,500 for, it's about 2,000 hours that we estimated, which is, I'd say, conservative as far as, we think that it's, we wanted to estimate the most hours, as far as assuming what do we think it would be on the high end, just as a conservative, number. So that's what we've estimated for those 10 scopes of work. And then the additional items for those other 6 is 60,000, and that's 240 hours. And again, we described that as, a alternate, or not alternate, but optional or additional scope, just to provide that information on what that cost would be for those.
So if we get the entire list, it's $527,500 we're looking at?
For all 16?
All 16 items?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion that we approve all 16 items for the $527,500.
Second. Got a motion by Mr. Castellanos, second by myself, Mr. Barrera. All those in favor?
Discussion?
Mr. Nájera?
So we went through would you remind me the process, sir, that we went through again?
Sure.
To rank these items? Because as I'm looking at all 16 of these items, the last 2, 15 and 16, which are tied for 15, indicate that the level of concern is none. So I would assume that, or I would conclude, I'm sorry, that based on it saying that the average level of concern was none, that there was very little, if any, maybe one person expressed some concern in that particular area. So I don't understand why we would move forward with all 16 items for areas that there was no concern, other than, of course, to make you and your firm happy, sir, but
I'll be happy to explain there.
that was a joke, sorry.
No,
But we rank ordered these,
Correct.
and we all listed the areas that were of high and moderate concern, the low areas. I just, if we listed these, if, there was a polling process, I'm sorry, I asked you a question first, sir. So remind me, please, what was the process in which we arrived? Which ones were the high, moderate, low, and none average level of concern?
Right, yep. And so in the March meeting, we talked about the questionnaire results, which we did, and it was a combination of written and, interviews, virtual interviews, and then going through, at that time, 14 scopes of work with the rankings, 0, 1, 2, and 3 for the none, low, moderate, or high, and then essentially ranking those. We added the 2 additional scopes to come up with 16. So for the transportation expenditures and athletic expenditures are the 2 that you referenced. So the total points were 2. I don't have the detail in front of me, but that would, presumably it was 2 people that had it as a 1, which would be low, or 1 person had it as a 2, which was moderate. But regardless, the total was 2, and then we essentially averaged it on a per board member of the 5 participants. That would be 0.4. So we're rounding for simplicity's sake. So that would be closer to the 0 than none. And so that's where we trying to provide an average for these for all 16. So that's the general methodology. And then we've provided the detailed work plan that was requested for those top 10, which were the ones that were high and moderate, and then a more of a high-level sampling, which would reduce the fees. If there is a decision to review all of them, that's kind of what our recommended approach would be if that's the decision.
I see that in your initial proposal, right, what I guess you would refer to as option 1, you included the top 10 items. Those were those that were ranked high and moderate. Can you help me understand, sir, why did you, in your initial proposal, focus on those areas and therefore give us, why does your initial proposal, option 1, focus on those items, the first 10, and give us that as 1 fee and then list the others as optional, or option 2?
Right. So I guess this goes back to the part of the scoping process for phase 1 was to identify those areas where the board had interest or had the areas of the scopes that are higher priority. And so, going through the rankings, we, converted those rankings to be indicators of, what the board collectively or the participants, what their feelings were as far as those items. And so the ones that are low or none, collectively, those were less of a priority or there's less interest. And so that's why we, didn't include them. And, again, part of this purpose was to identify the areas that we were going to propose to review, as part of the phased approach.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Are there any more questions?
Question.
Last board meeting also as well, you went back to the board and asked 5 board members, the 5 that participated, you asked us 2 questions. One was board governance and campus funds.
Correct.
And board governance came out as high, whereas campus funds was ranked as low.
It was, campus funds
Or
is
moderate.
is moderate. It's right. It's
And I do recall at the last board meeting, like Mr. Nahara mentioned, we're looking at 10 items. Look over now, we're looking at a scope of 16. We just added 2 more last month. So if we wouldn't have added board governance or campus funds, would have been down to maybe 14. And for the scope of the 10 items, we're looking at a cost of $467,500.
That's what we've estimated for the hours for the 5-year review of those 10. Yes, sir.
And for the 16, we're looking at what price?
That would be the The 467,500 plus the 60,000. So I think that gets you, that would be 527, I think 500. And just to be clear, we're not recommending, we're simply, I think there was a request to provide what that fee estimate, this is the proposed work plan and fee estimate. We separated these for that reason so that there's flexibility. We're not trying, it's ultimately, the board is going to select the scope, and we wanted to provide that as additional information, should the board decide to review those additional 6.
On the last 2 items, we have athletic expenditures and transportation expenditures as them being average level of concern being none. And I don't see why we had to add those 2 on there, and including also the maintenance, technology, curriculum instruction, credit card, and transportation. I mean, those are low. I don't see why the board should spend additional extra money on those items and just stick with the additional 10 that was presented to us the first time around. That's my discussion and my questioning.
Questions?
Mr. Castellano was next.
Yeah. This is a question of the district and the future that we're going to put into it. This is an investment in the district. Just because it shows no interest or no concern doesn't mean there's something not wrong, that everything's right, that everything's going perfect. The problem is that we don't have that information. This whole RFQ, this whole forensic external audit is about getting us the information that we need to make the right decisions up here. And a lot of the stuff we just don't have. We can go back to when this thing was passed back in 2021 in July, and here we are 2023, and we're barely talking about it now to get it moved forward. The district has never went through a external forensic audit in its entire existence, and now we're putting one forward, and we need to build the foundation and make sure that everything is right before we move forward to the next step. That's what we're looking at here. We want to invest in a cafeteria for $460,000. This is the investment to ensure that we have everything else in place, that we can give the teachers their raises, that the money's being allotted properly, and that the board members have that information to move forward with it. It's about getting the information to us that we require. Michael, we had in July of 21, when it was September of 21, when we had that board meeting, I was asking about the stipends back then, and it seemed like
the stipends are not.
Yes, they are, because it's about information. It's
well,
about
the audit,
information we did not have.
Yeah. But
Let me finish. You're interrupting.
Is what
You
we're
can counter.
discussing right here. We can't go back to the stipends. We're talking about the
No.
audit.
We're talking about lack of information we had to make a decision. You all said it was fine, that it can stay in regulation, only to find out now we can't. Even the attorney was up here saying that everything was fine. Well, he said it was not legal, but not illegal. That was his words. HR was standing up here saying we were fine having stipends going through regulation, and it turns out it was wrong. And we didn't have that information. We can go down and go to the next section and talk about the contract extensions. We didn't have that information. Had we had an external audit in the past, we wouldn't have that problem right now with those contract extensions. I went back 5 years to get that information to know that 28 people signed 179 contracts for over $130 million without board approval, because we're not getting that information. The same thing with the records retention. It took December's board meeting to bring it to the attention and say, hey, we're doing it now. We're finally going to clean up the 60 years of records down there. What's going on in the other places that have no concern for us, or that we put no concern, we don't know. But by allowing the firm to come in and take a look at it, they can let us know, hey, there's a problem, or there's not a problem, something we can fix so we can establish a foundation for the future. And we need that information. We can, let me get a drink of water. Information we don't have, I'll tell you, is, we had Ianton just leave the job. What happened there that we need to know about, so we can make the decisions? Our purchasing director left. what happened there, that the information we need to know to move forward and make the right decisions and get the foundation set right for the future of this district. This is one of the most, to me, it's one of the most important votes we can ever take as a board by investing into the future. And $527,000 is a small investment for us to make sure we do the right thing for the next generation, for the next group of kids coming through. It's hard to rate categories when we don't have all the information. A lot of the information we get up here, it's half, you know, and I argue about it, but with your work, we can establish a solid foundation, a baseline where we can build forward on this district.
Anything else, Mr. Castillo?
No, I've got it. That's it.
Mr. Nájera?
Mr. Kastner, so what was the maximum number of points a single individual could assign to the ranking?
3 is the high. So
Three. Okay, so for the last two items, the total points was 2. So that means either 2 people ranked it as 1, or 1 person ranked it as 2. So in neither one of those scenarios did anyone indicate a high level of importance to either one of those areas, because then the number would at least be 3, right?
That's correct.
So again, even Mr. Castellano just about 2 minutes ago indicated that those 2 areas, we, as part of the survey, identified those items as low or no concern. Some of the other areas mentioned, they're in the top 10. We talked about construction expenditures, mentioned his concerns there. Bond fund expenditures, that kind of goes hand in hand with construction expenditures. He talked about stipends. That's tied for number 5. So again, and that is where the entire board, through the ranking process, arrived at a high level of interest in each, or moderate in each of those areas. So it just troubles me that if even a single board member did not rank as high priority the last 2 items, why we would expend funds, why we would waste money on areas that obviously nobody ranked as a high priority here. I just don't understand it. But one more question, sir. The focus, the scope says the last 5 years. So that would go through, since we're about to agree to this here in April, if we do, right? That would go through March, right? Because we're closing in March. March month expenditures are closed. It should include through March and back 5 years.
So what we've, in the questionnaire, the 5-year period that we defined was the fiscal years ended 2018 through 2022. So that would be the July 1, 2017 through June 30, 2022 is what we defined in the questionnaire process.
Okay, and I would say that we need something more recent. I mean, we've got, you know, the SAC, which is a current active project. We also got Socorro High School, which is still ongoing. If we're going to look at, you know, expenditures, it should be all the way through a majority of the existing bond project, you know, through March of 2023. So March and back 5 years. And if you have to, you know, I don't know if you can only look at complete fiscal years, but you know, I would suggest that it goes through March of 2023.
And for the bond fund expenditures, I know we talked last time about we may need to, you know, go earlier to, you know, review the bond planning process, and then I guess to your point, and we talked about, you know, if it's, you know, I would think that it would be appropriate to review the bond, if we're going to review the bond fund expenditures, that would be the bond program in the 5 fiscal years. I think, you know, is probably less rigid, you know, in that particular scope of work. You know, so I would agree. I don't want to, you know, make the, you know, decision for the board, but that logic makes sense, you know, I think to us.
Mr. Barrera, after this.
Being that the board ranked the scope of work categories, I don't feel like it is necessary to go to audit those with a low or none level of concern. We chose these, the board did. And I don't think there's a need to spend that money on items that the board itself ranked low or none.
David?
Mr. Morales?
Well, looking at the amount of time that's going to be allocated, which is approximately 40 hours per in the last 6 categories, it's relevant where, I mean, if we're going to do a thorough audit, you know, I don't see a problem us going the distance for that minimum amount of money, if your estimate is accurate, if we're in that ballpark. It seems to me like, yeah, they're lower as far as a rated, but relative to the amount of money we're paying, it's minimal. So overall, it looks like, you know, we can be transparent to the public, and we can look at all these areas. And once again, 40 hours per item is reasonable, in my opinion. Thank you.
And again, on the issue of low concern, is that we don't have the information. It's information that we'll probably gather later that, hey, this went wrong over here. But like Mr. Morales said, an extra $60,000 just to ensure the public that everything is in order is important. We're investing in the future of our district, the next 60 years, because the last 60 years, we did nothing. We didn't have these forensic audits. And items were identified of major concerns that have to be addressed by the district. And we need to ensure that it doesn't happen again, that we have everything cleared out, that everything checks fine when you complete your audit, and we can move forward. The extra $60,000, I think it's a added value to this audit. We need to have it.
Anybody else?
Again, I'll restate that from the ranking order of the board, nobody, absolutely nobody who responded to the survey indicated these items were of high or moderate concern. And I would love to live in a world where 60,000 is not, you know, a sizable amount of money. It is. 60,000 is. And for the benefit that we're going to get for areas that were ranked low and none, I don't understand the logic behind it. But
You know, and the other thing more importantly is that, hey, Mr. Castellanos, this is very important. Out of the 7 board members, only 5 responded. I wish we could find out which 2 board members didn't respond, because this is important. We're making a great decision. I wish we could know which 2 board members did not respond. But there is a big difference of $60,000. Next couple items, we're talking about over $2 million. $60,000, it's not a penny in the bucket. $60,000 is a lot of money. Board, we talked about this last month. We talked about the first 10 items. And we keep on adding. We're going to keep on adding more items and more items. We could do this after, we could add some more items after we finish the next audit, but that's just going back and forth. We're not a bank here. We don't have enough money to be spending here.
And I'll go back to where.
Okay, so I've given everybody the opportunity. I'll go back to you guys right now, but I do want to have my voice heard. When you look at it, at the end of the day, those are still areas that need to be looked at, whether it's low, whether it's moderate, whatever, none, it doesn't matter. Because we don't know, and nobody here on the board can guarantee each other that there probably won't find not even 1 discrepancy or 2 discrepancies, and who knows what else that might lead to. So to just remove these items, I feel confident to say would be reckless. It's better that we look at it, have the information, and not prolong it, because the longer we prolong some of this stuff, we also look at, I consider the statute of limitations as well.
Limitations for an audit, we're looking to correct stuff. I can see, but
I'm
you
speaking,
choose your
and you
words
don't like being
widely.
interrupted,
There is
and you're
no
being-
statute of limitations.
you're
This isn't a
interrupting.
criminal. This
Mr.
is an
Nájera.
audit. Do you understand what the purpose of an audit is?
Mr. Nájera, you're out of control right now.
Do you understand
You
what an
asked to
audit
be
is?
respected, but yet you don't give it back. I gave you your time enough. So when you look at stuff, there is a statute of limitations because we don't know if there might be anything that could be criminal. So for the sake of transparency and for the board to have that information, it is vital, because at the end of the day, this is the taxpayer money, because what if we do find something that could lead us down the wrong path? It's better to take care of it now and deal with it now than get surprised by something later on, and now we're gonna have to deal with it, and maybe it might actually cost us more than $60,000. So yes, for the sake of transparency to the community, it is important to go do everything all at once. Mr. Nájera, do you have anything else?
Maybe there's items that we didn't include here that nobody can rank as well.
There's been a motion on the table. Go ahead and call a vote, please.
There was a motion by Mr. Castellano, second by myself.
Just one more issue real quick. We were willing to spend an extra $200,000 in catering. I'm gonna harp on that for a long time.
We're not
So
on that
we-
subject,
we
sir.
can
We're on
do
Mr. Guerra.
$60,000.
We're
We
not
can
in
do
that subject.
$60,000.
Mr. Guerra.
Mr. Castellanos out of order. He's bringing up something not on the agenda.
No, I'm bringing up our expenditures, because he says it's not a drop in.
So are we gonna be consistent or not? And that's all I'm trying to do, is create consistency.
Let's stay on the items.
This is the item, and you're talking about the $60,000. If we can spend the extra money somewhere else, we can use that $60,000 and also help invest into the future of this district, to the information we require as board members to move forward and do the right decisions, and not just say, oh, we don't know about credit cards, so we're not liable for that information. Oh, we don't know about athletics, ooh, technology, because nobody told us about it. Go ahead, Pablo.
Mr. Guerra.
Call the question.
Mr. Guerra was next.
Not that we don't know,
call the
those items
question.
were not an urgency.
Call the question, ends the discussion if somebody seconds it. I call the question. As far as motions go,
So do you have any questions?
call the question is a motion of higher priority. So when I call the question, if somebody seconds it, which you should allow for, then we have to go to vote and discussion ends.
Second.
I gotta,
Okay, so now you call for the vote.
yeah, but I had seconded.
Fine, you just call for the vote.
I got a motion by Mr. Castellano, second by myself, Mr. Barrera. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
No.
I'd like to make a motion to put the 10 items that we discussed, the first priorities for the scope of the audit, and do the audit, and do the audit up till March of 2022.
Mr. Guerra, can you give me a second, because let me clarify something. The motion did not carry, so now you can go
So it
ahead and make
fails.
it.
I'd like to make a motion to add the 10 items that were the first priorities, the first 10,000 priority, and add the audit to the extent of, to March 2023.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Guerra and a second by Mr. Nájera.
Discussion.
Mr. Castellano.
So these are the 10 items, including the 2 that were added.
The campus funds.
Huh?
Yes, campus funds, yes, it'll be one of the 10, yes, sir.
And we're gonna do the 5 years?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Any other questions?
no, we're good.
So I got a motion by Mr. Guerra, second by Mr. Nájera. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. 10G, discussion and possible action regarding budget amendment for forensic audit. Ms. Bettis.
Yes, sir. The original amendment that we submitted for $300,000 was based on the preliminary work done on scope 1. Based on the conversations we had just had right now, that a subsequent budget amendment will come in the next month for the total amount of $167,500, for the total amount to be $467,500. And if any additional amounts are needed, once we get close to that amount, we will bring that to the board before it exceeds.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Guerra, second by Mr. Morales. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. 10H, discussion and possible action regarding temporary construction easement by the new SAC. Ms. Bettis.
I'm sorry about that. I would like to invite Mr. Carrasco to explain the easement. He is much better versed than I am.
Appreciate that. Dr. Carmen, Vice President Barrera, members of the board, David Carrasco. Do you have any questions? Was there any questions at all?
Can you clarify, please?
Yes. Yes, sir. I sure will. At the SAC, what happens is there's some land that's owned by the El Paso Water Utilities, and behind the my goodness, I'm not as well versed. The aquatics area, that's owned by El Paso Water Utilities. What they're doing, they're making a retention pond, but with that, they're hoping to make some soil sample drilling to check the water table to make sure it doesn't interfere with any construction. So where they want to do it, since it's so low, they need to get to a certain area, and they want to use a small piece. They're asking for a construction easement from Socorro ISD to make sure they can do that soil sample, to make sure they're meeting all standards that they need to meet to continue on with that construction. We currently just finished our fence area, and that fence area is not allowing them to get in there. So they're asking it's a small little area they're going to do, and then once they get it completed, they're going to be out of there.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I got a motion by Mr. Morales, a second by Ms. Nájera.
Discussion?
Mr. Nájera?
Mr. Carrasco, so just to understand, they're asking for a temporary easement, right? It is for construction for their purposes, and any alteration, damages, any deconstructing, any changes, whatever it is that they do, as soon as they're done, then they redo, right? And it's at no cost to us.
That's exactly correct.
And it's not going to disturb us in any way that you know of?
It will not cause any issues.
Thank you.
Yes.
Motion was made by Mr. Morales, second by Ms. Nájera. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. On to agenda item number 10I. Consider approval of additional professional contract recommendations. Dr. Gonzalez.
Good evening, Mr. Barrera, Vice President, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Dr. Carmen. We're asking the board to consider and approve additional professional contract recommendations for the school year 23-24. These are for teachers, librarians, nurses, counselors, speech therapists, and education diagnostics as presented. You have the information with you.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Morales, a second by Mr. Castellano. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. 10J. Discussion possible action on the reclassification of the clinic staff listed below per the TASB salary study. Dr. Gonzalez?
You want to start? You have the information on the screen also, and Ms. Stiles is going to present the information.
Hi, good evening, Vice President Barrera, Dr. Carmen, members of the board, Selena Stiles, Director of Human Resources for Support Personnel. This recommendation was from TASB. It was part of the original TASB study. However, we held it because we were going back and forth with TASB just to ensure that they had the correct market value for these positions. There's not a lot of districts that have clinics. And so it was really difficult to get the correct information, but this is the recommendation. Our clinic CMAs will go from 501 to 502. Our clinic pharmacy tech will go from 502 to 503, and the lead clinic CMA will go from 502 to 503. Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Morales, a second by Mr. Castellano. All those-
Discussion? Ms. Stiles,
Yes, sir.
when was the TASB study completed?
It was completed in May of 2022 for this school year.
A year ago.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Here's my thinking, folks. We've got items J, K, L, M, and N on the agenda, and they're all related to the TASB study. I don't remember the TASB study, the approach, and maybe it's just me, and if it's just me, then, you know, at least I could not recite it to you, I could not explain it to you. I mean, I know the purpose, I can see here are the outcomes, but I don't remember what the process was. I don't remember what, the data that it incorporated, any of that. And so what I do know and what I do recall is that we had a lot of disparity across, different pay grades, different positions. And my fear is, and the changes that are listed here, that we're going to introduce once again, the exact same problem that we tried to remedy with the TASB study. And so, and are we going to continue to bring these things piecemeal without a structured, well-defined approach? My preference would be that we schedule a separate workshop so that we can represent and understand this TASB study and make sure that these items are in alignment with that. I know that we approved the special education from 304 to 305, but that one, it wasn't just relative to this last TASB study. That item had been outstanding for several years, and the special ed, the special education clerks are here, and they can tell you that item was outstanding for quite a long time. They had presented information to us, for several years trying to get that approved. And so, that one I completely understood. I knew exactly what the supporting information was, but in some of these, I don't have that same confidence, and I just think it would serve us well to have a workshop specific to this, again, so that we don't end up in the exact same situation which, we tried to remedy with the TASB study and the actions that we took based upon it. I have to say. No, I don't have a motion, because there is a motion. That was discussion.
Discussion. I agree with Mr. Nahara. Items J, K, L, M, and O are all related to the compression study, reclassification, and stipend. And I've met several times with Dr. Gonzalez and Senor Stiles in regards on this. And I still have questions in regards to the compression study. I fully don't understand it. We never had a budget workshop in regards to the compression study. We had budget workshops, but that's totally different from a budget workshop to a compression study. And I want to make sure that the board fully understands the compression study. And I know I put some items on the agenda myself, and I know when I talked to Ms. Stiles, they said that maybe there's going to be a maintenance study going back to TASB. I would like to suggest, I know there's a motion to table, I'd like to possibly for discussion that maybe we could bring these items back so we could have some more clarity and we could be better informed, because we're going to make an over $2 billion decision here. If we could do a budget workshop, like Mr. Nakata said, and bring it back to the board next month, that way we could all be better informed, and have some more clarity on these items. Thank you.
Is there further discussion? There was a motion made by Mr. Morales, a second by Mr. Castellano. All those in favor?
Aye.
Really quick, can I say something before?
He called for the vote. He called for the vote. You have to vote.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion does not carry.
Motion to postpone items J, K, L, M, and N to the May 16th board meeting, and to schedule a budget workshop specific to the TASB study and these items until between now and the next board meeting, which is May 16th.
Second.
Motion was made by Mr. Nájera, second by Mr. Guerra. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion carries. Mr. Ramirez. I still got two speakers. Even though it's tabled, I want to make sure that we're still okay to allow these speakers to speak on those agenda items. Yes. Okay. So 10L, the first one I have is Mr. Tommy Hill.
Okay, 10 hours for the SPED clerks, but I need to speak on both of these items, and I wrote on for twice. Okay, Yeah, they need to go up to the 306. But look, I need to speak on this stuff because you guys stopped people at 15 years on the TASB, and you just tabled it. And this took all of this time to do this. And how dare you do that to these people? You just took away their experience. And you tabled it. That was their experience. It's just years of experience because TASB stopped them at 15 years. And you guys just tabled it. You're going to tell every single one of those people that they're only good for 15 years of experience. That is what just happened here today. And to tell me that you don't understand this, that is a bunch of malarkey. And I'm telling you, I will be on there on May 6th. And I will explain this, what you guys just did today. I also wanted to talk about the SPED clerks, and I was going to thank you for that. But what you just did to the people in their years of service was a travesty.
Elizabeth Ramos, 10L.
So good evening, Vice President Barrera, Dr. Carmen, and members of the board. My name is Liz Ramos. I am a special education clerk for the Socorro Independent School District. I was here tonight on behalf of our special education clerks to show our gratitude and appreciation for the recent consideration and approval for the special education clerk reclassification. This really means a lot to us, and we are thankful and grateful. But again, after tonight, I don't know. We hope that you all will take good consideration in reclassifying us at a 306. We do deserve it, and it has been long coming to us. So I do thank you again for your time and your consideration.
I got 3 speakers on 10N. Mr. Hill. Just for clarification, so you're fine, Mr. Hill. Next speaker is Ms. Veronica Hernandez.
Good evening, Vice President Barrera, members of the board, and Dr. Carmen. My name is Veronica Hernandez. I'm president of the 2,000-member Socorro AFT. Back on December 19th of last year, Socorro AFT filed an association grievance to restore the monies due to all the persons on the professional and clerical pay scale above 15 years of service and make it retroactive to the beginning of the school year. It was heard by Dr. Carmen, who subsequently issued a denial. We filed an appeal and is currently yet to be scheduled. Since I was on the board tonight, I am up here to tell you that we strongly believe that people should be given their years of experience. However success is achieved, we support all efforts to restore this money to the people who deserve it. Thank you.
Third speaker, Margarita Parra.
Good evening. My name is Margarita Parra. I am a bus driver. And apparently what happened today is you all's action as looking at us as numbers, as dollar bills, and not being considered for our skills, for our loyalty. You forget that as bus drivers, we get up at 3:30 in the morning. every day. And yes, we chose this job. We chose it because we like working with children. We chose this to be here because we like this district. It has been good to us. But yet, now we're finding out that we're not valued anymore. And I thought we would be today. And I'm sorry that you need more time to categorize us as human beings that deserve a little bit more money to get ahead. Our insurance went up, all the groceries are going up, your everything that you have to pay, water, electric, gas, everything. And yet, we are still here at 3:30 in the morning. Some of us work until 10 o'clock at night, and we do it because we love our job. When is it going to be enough for you all to see that we do want to be here, that we do want to take care of all of our kids, your kids, the district's kids, and we want to do it knowing that we are appreciated. Thank you.
On to 10O, I'm gonna make a motion to, or Dr. Carmen, is there anybody that can speak on this? I know it was Mr. Mena's agenda item. I think it should be appropriate that we allow him to speak on it.
I
Go ahead, Mr.
I
Manager.
also requested this item through an email. Now, if you want to hold it until Mr. Mena is here and can speak on it, that's fine.
Are you okay? I mean, it does have his name. I mean, I don't know what input he has.
Right?
Okay.
And, I mean, since it's being decided on the board and it's an opportunity for the board to discuss whether we're gonna have general counsel or in-house counsel, I think it is wise for us to have his input on it.
Is there a second?
Second for what? What's the motion?
Table it.
Oh, motion, you mean a motion to postpone until the May 16th board meeting where Mr. Mena can be present?
Yes.
Yes. Second.
So I'll go with your motion, Mr. Nájera. Is that fine? Motion was made by Mr. Nájera to postpone 10-0 to the May 16th board meeting. Second was by Ms. Nájera. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. On to executive session 11A. The meeting is to be closed for discussion with legal counsel related to the status, possible resolution of A. Moctezuma versus SISD number 2021 DC V4140, County Court number 3. Consult with counsel on TEA Special Investigation IR 2023-01002 et al. Consult with counsel on TEA Special Investigation INV 2020-02122. Consider request to rescind resignation of teacher from John Drugan School to deliberate the value and sale of surplus district real properties recommended for sale, to receive letters regarding intruder detection audit report findings for Campestre Elementary School, Captain Walter E. Clark Middle School, Chester E. Jordan Elementary School, Elfida P. Chavez Elementary School, Sierra Vista Elementary School, Robert R. Rojas Elementary School, and William D. Slider Middle School, to review revised components of the district's emergency operations plan, to consider and deliberate the dismissal appeal of Jose Gomez, to consider administrative recommendations for assistant principal position at Horizon Heights Elementary School, and to conduct superintendent's annual appraisal under Texas Government Code sections 551.071, 551.072, 551.076, and 551.074. Time is 8:32, April 18, 2023. Time is 9:42. Board is back from executive session. Agenda item number 12, new business discussion and possible action on the dismissal appeal of Jose Gomez.
Motion to deny the appeal of Jose Gomez.
Second.
I got a motion by Mr. Nájera and a second by Mr. Guerra. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. 12B, discussion and possible action regarding A. Moctezuma versus SISD number 2021 DCV 4140, County Court number 3. Mr. Ramirez?
Yes, board members, as discussed in closed session, the motion is to approve the settlement on Moctezuma v. SAISD, number 2021 DCV 4140.
Motion to approve.
Got a second.
Got a motion by Ms. Cynthia Nájera and a second by Mr. David Morales. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Discussion possible action, agenda item number 12C, discussing and possible action regarding TA Special Investigation INV 202002122.
Mr. Barrera, I make a motion that we approve the release of TEA Special Investigation INV 2020-02-122. Make the motion.
Second.
Discussion.
Go ahead.
Mr. Ramirez, what does council advise on this item?
My advice is to not release the preliminary finding report. I would wait till TEA finalizes that report.
I'm sorry, so it was not to release the preliminary, to wait until the final report?
Yes. And the final report will be automatically public anyway.
Mr. Ramirez, the district allows us to release the information to the public?
Yes, TEA allows you to release the preliminary finding report as long as the board, majority vote of the board approves the release of that preliminary finding report.
I believe it's important for the public to know their district and to understand what's going on in their district, and so they can make the right decisions. Just like I requested earlier for information to make our decisions. The public needs that information.
Mr. Ramirez, the preliminary report, the final report could be completely different from the final report, right? That's why it's called a preliminary? And that's
so
why
on one
TEA
allegation-
themselves doesn't release the report until it's final?
That's
to the
correct.
public?
TEA
Okay.
considers it a confidential document because it's just preliminary. I found some areas that needed to be, deficiencies that needed to be corrected, in my opinion. And I've advised TEA of that, and so I'm hoping that they will take those into consideration and release a final report that I believe is more accurate of the law.
The information is available to the public and it should be released. It's their district. They have a
question.
right to know.
I have a question too. What do you think as far as a timeline? You're saying that there's got to be some type of protocol in which the findings become, or the report becomes, let's just say right now it's a preliminary, final. What type, in your opinion, what do you, because I do know you said you made an appeal, am I correct?
Yes, I submitted comments
Yeah.
as they allow to, and I have no idea of what
Did
the
that,
timeline
did
would
that
be.
prolong it, the appeal? Did that make it to where
Yeah.
it's going to prolong
Likely,
it?
if they're gonna duly consider my comments, I think it will prolong it, but I have no idea how many months it will be until they finalize the report.
But your recommendation is to hold off because it's not, let's say, complete, or?
Because it's not in final form,
Not
and
in final.
I think the preliminary findings, like I said, are, to me, not entirely correct based on the law. And I don't want any misconceptions about what is required of the district under the law.
Any further discussion? The motion made by Mr. Castellanos, second made by myself, Mr. Barrera. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
Aye.
I abstain.
I heard 2 ayes.
We can
and
raise our hands.
3 nays
So-
and 1 abstention, so
I'm
that's,
gonna-
that's a majority of everyone that's present and voting. So the motion does not pass.
Motion doesn't, even with 3 votes.
Yes, because, yes, it's a majority of those present and voting. There was 1 abstention.
Okay. So for clarification, I just want to make sure that's on the record. Those that are in favor of it, show your hand. Those opposed? And the abstention. On to agenda item number 12D, discussion and possible action regarding rescinding the resignation of a teacher from John Drugan School.
Good evening, Vice President Mr. Beda, Superintendent Dr. Carmen, members of the board. My name is Mr. Thomas Redlinger, Director of Employee Relations in the Human Resources Department. Administration recommends consideration and approval to rescind the resignation of the employee from John Drugan campus as presented in closed session.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Michael Nájera and a second by Ms. Cindy Nájera. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. (12E), consider approval of administrative recommendations. Dr. Carmen?
Sir, Vice President Barrera and members of the board, administration recommends Erica Luna to assume the role and responsibilities as the new assistant principal of Horizon Heights Elementary School.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Michael Nájera and a second by Mr. Paul Guerra. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. On to agenda item number 12F, consider approval of superintendent's annual appraiser.
Barrera. Motion to postpone the superintendent's annual appraisal to a special board meeting to occur prior to our next board meeting.
Second.
I got a motion by Mr. Michael Nájera and a second by Mr. Paul Guerra. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Time is 12:50 and we are adjourned.
Date?
No, the date is 4/18/2023, 9:50 p.m.